FM and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
You're 6 minutes away from a live episode of Free Talk Live, brought to you by freekeen.com. Listen live at freetalklive.com.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, May 17th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.43 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,288 per ounce. Zen Cash is trading at $29, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,315. Antiwar.com reports 10 of the 15 current members of the UN Security Council have signed a letter expressing profound concern about the lack of implementation of a 2016 resolution which called for a freeze of Israeli settlements built on Palestinian soil. The letter, addressed to Secretary General Antonio Guterres, was signed by Bolivia, Equatorial Guinea, Ivory Coast, Kazakhstan, Kuwait, the Netherlands, Peru, Sweden, and 2 permanent members, France and China. The 2016 resolution was a rare Security Council vote involving the occupation of Palestine that was not vetoed by the United States. The United States abstained and the resolution passed 14-0. President Trump was deeply critical of the resolution and has largely supported Israel's rapid expansion of its settlements ever since. The 10 nations expressing concern want the UN Secretary General to start submitting quarterly reports on the situation and the fact that Israel is flouting the resolution. The U.S. will almost certainly veto any attempts to do anything about the violations. Born into a devastating world and raised among the crowd, the Cloudwalker assumes a new identity and begins the unrelenting quest for truth. In this epic journey, he discovers dark secrets about aspects of his previous life that he once trusted. Fueled in the beginning by his unsettling thoughts and emotions, he learns how to find peace with everything he has woken up to. Dear Society by the Cloudwalker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. UPI reports a New York man wrongfully jailed for the murder of an off-duty corrections officer in New York as a child has been exonerated. 41-year-old John Bunn served 17 years in prison after being convicted of the murder at the age of 14 in August of 1991 based on tainted evidence produced by former detective Louis Scarcelli. Bunn said, "It's been 27 years. I've been fighting for my life and I've been fighting for my innocence." He was freed on parole in 2009 and won the right to a new trial in 2016, but he was ultimately exonerated after prosecutors said they would not retry the case. Bunn said in court, "I didn't deserve any of that stuff that you all did to me," adding, "They won't admit it and say that I'm an innocent man, but I'm an innocent man, Your Honor, and I have always been an innocent man. You all convicted and had a wrong man in prison, and you all still have somebody on the loose that killed someone." Brooklyn Supreme Court Justice Shondia Simpson said Bunn should not have been imprisoned and questioned the legal process leading to his conviction. Simpson said the case was tried, a jury was picked, testimony was given, and it all concluded in one day. I don't consider that justice at all. Bunn and Roshan Hargrave, then 16, were convicted in the shooting of Rikers Island Corrections Officer Rolando Neischer and Robert Croson. They were placed in a photo array created by Scarcella for Croson, who survived the shooting and who identified Bunn and Hargrave as the suspects. Croson also served as the lone witness in the trial. Simpson told Bunn to move forward after the exoneration. In the year since his parole, Bunn started a nonprofit literacy organization called A Voice for the Unheard and has collected more than 20,000 books for New York inmates. Bunn said, "I don't know how I made it this far, but I believe I'm here for a purpose." Hargrave's conviction was also thrown out, and his case will not be retried. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports the U.S. Department of Transportation told airlines on Tuesday that they must continue to allow the transport of the most common service animals, but said it was asking for public comment about amending its existing regulations. The DOT said in a statement that it wants to ensure that individuals with disabilities can continue to use their service animals while also helping to ensure that the fraudulent use of other animals not qualified as service animals is deterred. There are growing concerns among airlines about passengers bringing aboard exotic creatures that could pose a safety risk, and companies have recently begun tightening requirements. The DOT said it would focus on ensuring that carriers in the United States continue to accept the most commonly used service animals, dogs, cats, and miniature horses. Existing rules allow airlines to deny transport to animals such as snakes, other reptiles, ferrets, rodents, and spiders. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
McDonald's is now offering bereavement prices, and a sexual predator gets tenure. This is the Onion Week in Review. This Wednesday, Samsung announced the release of its brand new really big television. Representatives for the South Korean electronics manufacturer told reporters at a press conference that the gargantuan of an electronics product boasted a variety of new features, including being super heavy and having a screen that was probably 100 inches wide for all they knew.
We here at Samsung think this new product will appeal to today's consumers who are looking for a television that's really, really huge. I mean, this thing is built like a Mack truck. You just really have to see it to believe it.
In other news, an important decision is sent up to the company's highest idiot. And an area mother doesn't see why Thai people need to make food so spicy. Today's Onion Review was sponsored by Bamboo Garden, voted the best family-owned Chinese restaurant in Idaho for 5 years running.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. We'll give you the toll-free call-in line here momentarily where you can call in and join us and bring up whatever is on your mind. The us in studio tonight is Darryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And Heather, you've got a topic that you really want to talk about because you blew up the
I just have a topic that I wanted to talk about. You really don't want to talk about it, apparently. But I posted it in the show prep, and it triggered, some people, and I commented back. I wouldn't call that I'm not dying to talk about this story. It's just one that I found interesting.
Hold on. I was at the gym, and when I left the gym, I saw that I had 60 notifications from this Telegram group that we're in where we share show prep topics.
Oh, boy.
Yes, because I responded to another co-host's messages regarding my topic.
So some lady in Texas voted illegally, and that's somehow an invasion or something.
No, oh my God. Here we go again. What is this going to be, Troll Heather Day? Is that what you're doing?
No.
Why don't we just go into the story?
Right. I'm giving you a segue to get into reading the story.
So yeah, but you're bringing up stuff that Ian argued.
I don't know what Ian argued.
Yeah, you obviously do because you just quoted some stuff.
No, I saw the headline that you shared about some kind of invasion, and you mentioned something about the lady voting illegally.
Some Mexican citizen came into this country and pretended to be an American citizen, fraudulently created an ID pretending to be an entirely different person, and stole her identity and voted in several different elections in order to influence the outcome of policy that is influenced on American people.
All right, so somebody committed identity theft.
Yes.
Okay. It just kind of struck me as an identity thief, and she did all the things that she normally did.
Yeah.
So where's the story come from?
So, there's a couple of them that I actually posted in the show. If I can
just pick one of them.
Get to it. Okay, so the one... Well, you guys all posted so much arguing with me that I got to actually
wasn't arguing. I posted show prep topics in the show prep thing.
And while you and Ian were going back and forth, I posted one GIF of a cat watching tennis. And that was my contribution. I love the GIF of the cat watching tennis. Wasn't that fun?
Yeah, because the cat's eyes are just going
back and forth, because that's what those two were doing.
Yeah.
So I thought it was apropos.
All right. So the one that I want to do here is from, what is it called? Cron.com? I don't know if that's
Houston Chronicle.
Yep. Houston Chronicle. Okay. And
hang on.
And your calls, and while she pulls that up, I'll give the telephone number where you can call in. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Again, phones are open where you can call in about whatever is on your mind. It doesn't have to be about immigration. It could be, again, anything. And coming up, Chris, you've got a story. I forget which one I asked you to pull it up, but you've also got something about a podcast
Actually,
patent.
You know what? I don't even want to do.
Yep.
Okay, so this is what I was thinking, because upon researching this one woman that, snuck in and did the voter fraud, I was kind of curious to, look into the actual process of immigration into this country. And I found another article that I liked even better, which was from the National Review. And so this one kind of talks about, it's actually like, takes on the perspective of the immigrants that actually do, quote unquote, knock on America's door, as opposed to just barging right in. Like, they actually wait in line, they apply, they come in, they do everything by the books, and they get here. But nobody ever talks about those people or gives those people
actually,
a shot.
lots of people talk about those people.
Well,
and the tens of thousands of dollars that it cost,
I personally, in my life and conversations, have not heard as much discussion about these. Only the illegals being granted amnesty and all this other stuff and yada, yada, yada.
No.
So,
where I'm from.
Well, let's have this discussion. This is what we're going to do.
Illegal immigration means to me.
Illegal is illegal.
Well, whatever you want to call it, I'm saying that where I grew up, we have lots of farms and not lots of people. Mm-hmm. So when a town's population says 500 people on the sign, but there's 5,000 people in that town, that means that crops are getting picked, and apples are getting picked, and potatoes are getting picked.
So we can
and
like
stuff
have
like that.
discussions to negotiate.
Yeah.
People coming in here to work, but that still doesn't change the fact that people come in illegally versus people that
there's all the incentives for them to do so.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so this one, right? This will get in show some more perspective. So this one is about fence climbing illegal aliens cutting in line as legal immigrants wait. So it says, which group should take precedence? America's most forgotten men and women may be the legal immigrants who acquire their visas, scale no barriers, and patiently await their green cards and citizenship ceremonies. Amid the raging DACA debates, the fugitive city outrages, and this week's Honduran caravan epic at the San Diego-Tijuana border, these overlooked individuals ring America's doorbell rather than pry open the back entrance. So I am stunned, says Nayla Rush, a senior researcher with the Center for Immigration Studies. She is staggered by the caravan members who waved Honduran flags atop America's border fence. U.S. authorities arrested 29 of them for illegal entry. Those fleeing Tegucigalpa's chaos have no right to barge into the U.S. Likewise, if El Salvador, Guatemala, and Nicaragua, contiguous to Honduras and nearby Mexico, feel no duty to welcome these migrants, why is it America's obligation? So I'm curious to what your thoughts are on that, Chris.
Well, there's a couple things in reference to why people are coming here. Number one, we have minimum wage laws, and that really puts a kibosh on certain types of jobs that we make illegal for U.S. citizens. So if picking potatoes out of a field is financially viable for $1 an hour or $2 an hour or something like that, you cannot pay an American citizen that. If you do so, you're breaking the law. So your choices are, okay, I can either go out of business, or I can offer these jobs to people that may not have all their documentation. Now, these people that are coming from the South up here realize that those jobs exist, and they realize that the U.S. government has voted to make those jobs illegal to offer to U.S. citizens.
So do you think
there's a draw.
So do you think that if minimum wage laws were abolished, that Americans would work those jobs?
No. No, I don't. I think there's always going to be some jobs that are going to be so low on the totem pole that The only very desperate people may wish to do that. Now, comparing where they're coming from to what they may able to do once they're here, that still may be appealing, but I guarantee you it would reduce the amount of migration for work that occurs today. So that's the first thing. The second thing I'll say, and I think this applies to parts of Mexico and definitely the Guatemalans and particularly drug gangs and stuff like that. When people get really upset, they often bring up how many illegals, this guy committed murder and this guy's been arrested 50 times and how come he keeps going and why is all this going? We have this draconian war on drugs that invites, it practically begs black markets to come here. And the black market drug trade, as far as close producers, is primarily to our south. You've got Mexico, you've got Colombia, Peru, Guatemala, Nicaragua. So, of course, if they want to move their drugs, why not go where the highest profits are? And that's a country that, despite everything else, still continues to, on a federal level, make marijuana illegal. So they know that the big profits are here. So here you have government policy in two different places that is begging people to come here.
But don't you think that, like, for example, I'm all about people that want to come here and work. And, like, I agree with you 100% on the minimum wage laws being, like, counterproductive.
Right.
And, but at the same time, when people are coming into the country and, like, waving their flag in, like, our country's face, I mean, you don't have to identify as an American if you don't want to, but I just feel like that's super disrespectful and not the kind of people I would want as neighbors.
So should we get rid of Little China, Little Italy, and other places in New York City and LA? This is Free Talk Live,
because they came here the right way.
450 free. This November, I'll be running the world's biggest and most popular marathon, the New York City Marathon, as a member of Team Innocence Project. The Innocence Project was the first legal organization to systematically apply DNA testing to cases of wrongful convictions as a powerful tool to reveal innocence. Tony Wright is a perfect example of the power of DNA. The Innocence Project litigated for almost 6 years to get the court's permission for DNA testing. Tony had been incarcerated for nearly 25 years in Pennsylvania and narrowly escaped the death penalty. Tony's case, sadly, is not unique. Empowered with the unequivocal proof of innocence provided by DNA technology, the Innocence Project has litigated hundreds of wrongful conviction cases, leading to the exoneration and freedom for more than 180 people through DNA testing. Overall, there have been 356 DNA exonerees in the United States who were wrongfully imprisoned for more than 4,875 years in total. You can help support the Innocence Project and help me secure my race entry in the New York City Marathon by going to run.freetalklive.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Imagine this is you. You're working late when you get an alert on your smartphone. Your motion-activated Blink security camera picked up something at home. You pop open your Blink app and see the silhouette of a man peering through your kitchen window. The job of a home security system is to help stop crime. Get 3 Blink cams for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL, like Free Talk Live. Blinkprotect.com/FTL to save 15%.
Are you about to meet the media? If you're about to be interviewed, do their homework for them. Know this about the person who will interview you. He or she is busy, so expect minimal, if any, preparation. He or she doesn't know as much about your topic as you do. He or she isn't as concerned as you are about getting your message out. So you need to take responsibility. Provide a biography and fact sheet, photographs, or other materials that tell your story. story. Reporters won't be put off if you supply frequently asked questions. Remember, Public Speaking 101, at the end of the speech, what's the one thing you want them to remember? You can download the document I supply to reporters who interview me and squirm through a video that demonstrates how not to conduct your media interview at www.survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's fff@fff.org.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We'll get to the phones and back to the conversation here in just a second. But first, I want to make sure that I tell you about something that we're helping build, and it's something that libertarians have wanted for a long time. At least a decade as far as I'm aware, and probably even longer than that. And I'm talking about a directory of liberty-minded businesses. And the one that we're helping build is Liberty.menu. Liberty.menu is a tool for our community. At its core is a directory for events, businesses, digital content, and more. Listings can be rated and reviewed, kind of like on Yelp. But unlike Yelp, there's actually a bit of a social networking aspect built in, so you can actually connect and share with other users. Use of Liberty.menu is exclusively for individuals who reject the initiation of force and for those who agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. Put your voluntarist ideas into action at Liberty.menu. Use code FTL to get a special badge. That's Liberty.menu. And don't forget, enter code FTL, get a special Free Talk Live listener badge. Let's go to the Skype, where we've got Stefan calling in from Ohio. Stefan, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yes. Heather, I had a question for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I hear the way you're talking about immigration. Are you one of those people that likes to compare immigration to somebody coming in your backyard, for example?
I mean, sure. There's some similarities in terms of proper, like, ownership and who has, what rights. Essentially, you are like the state to your own property, right? If you get to deem the rules, even if you don't believe in the state as, like, even if you don't believe the state should exist, you can still acknowledge the similarities in structure, whereas the state sets the rules for the land that it deems it, runs, whereas the person sets the rules for their home. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, in that case, would you understand the difference between I as an individual owning a house and a collective of over 330 million people owning an entire landmass?
I understand each one as an individual concept.
And that neither you nor I have any direct authority over the border? So therefore, it wouldn't be up to us to control our property?
I mean, it's kind of how much faith you have in the system. I mean, you're basically, if you have no faith in government, it would be if you have no faith in your own family, you're not going to trust them to do what they're supposed to do. I mean, that's kind of each individual person's own perception of whether or not they believe government is all bad or all good or some bad, some good, whatever.
Right.
But am one of those people. I think that in order to have as little conflict as possible, we do need to establish borders. And the more people that can agree on the same borders, the less confusion and chaos it'll have if we all agree to abide by the standards and the lines drawn. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, these have existed for hundreds of years.
But the reason, yes,
question.
shocker, humans fight over land. I mean, this has been going on. This is always going to exist.
We're not talking about, we're talking about crossing borders.
Exactly. And like we need, if people... If there's 7 billion people in the world and 6 billion of them all agree that everyone owns this, and then the other 1 billion decide, well, we're going to trample over everyone else. Like, I'm going to say, hey, the 1 billion that is disregarding the other 6 billion are the ones that are causing all the problems.
Okay, Heather, let me ask this then. You said we should all agree to establish borders.
That's the goal, is to try to all peacefully live amongst each other and not step on each other's toes.
And standards. So let me ask this. What would Heather's standards be? And what would the punishment be if I were to cross into your imaginary line in the ground?
That's something that's actually one reason I wanted to bring up that woman coming over earlier was to hear what some people thought would be justifiable punishment. You know, this is stuff like I always engage in conversations because I do like to critique my own views and stuff like that. I don't know exactly what the punishment for something like that should be. Whatever it is would set the precedent moving forward, I think.
Well, if you, as earlier I had asked, if you'd make the comparison to somebody trespassing on your lawn, well, the punishment for that sometimes is getting shot. Do you think that if I cross an imaginary line in the sand, I should be shot? Or I should go to jail? What should happen to me?
Do I think you should? I mean, yeah, if I owned property and someone came on my lawn and I wanted to shoot them, that'd be my right.
So do you think it's okay if somebody tries to hop over the Canadian border, for example, and ICE shoots them since they were trespassing?
I think if I were to hop over some foreign border and be like, you know, stepping over their borders and I got shot, it would be my own fault. And I think they would have.
You're saying
I
it's
would
worth
say.
dying. You're saying it's worth that person's life.
I'm saying that's what's going to happen. I mean, there are borders set, whether or not you agree with it. I mean,
well, I'm not asking how it is. I'm asking.
Yes, I
is
think
that okay?
if I were to cross someone else's border, they would have every right to shoot me.
How about other countries that have very fluid borders? I mean, what do you think of that? Countries
that's their decision. If that's what the people over there agree to do, and that's how they function peacefully, sure.
Sometimes they work in one country and they go back home to another. I mean.
If you come here, though, and there's rules and stuff set, like, you know, I don't know.
That I wasn't party to.
I'm not responsible for anybody's actions but my own, so.
No?
No, I had
people can act like I'm
in the setting of the
rules. Big bad person,
no calls to get your feedback on that, Darryl. Stefan, you?
I mean, my grandmother immigrated here. She came over here illegally, though, and my brother.
Is it just the word illegal that bothers you?
No, it's called like respect. I'm not a lawless person. I do think that I'm not a no government anarchist, like completely chaos free for all. Like that's not who I am. I'm a small government person. I think that there should be borders, that there should be like lines drawn in order to get everyone to agree. That's called, you know, organization leads to less conflict.
I'll agree with this, that borders are a function of states.
We have 50 states.
That every state, every government pretty much has a border, right?
The 50 states are supposed to be united.
So that's a
as a country. I mean, yeah,
there are 31 states in Mexico.
There's
27 in Brazil.
What is your point, Darryl? What's your point?
I'm just trying to figure out your point of mentioning 50 states.
My point is that there are borders. So being like, oh, well, okay, and within each border, there are a lot of people that follow certain rules and things. Like you go state to state in this country and the rules change. You can, you know, talk on your phone while driving in Massachusetts, but not in New Hampshire. You can own a certain gun in New Hampshire, but not in Massachusetts.
Does that make these things right?
That's how it is, though. If
I cross from Stansted, Quebec to Derby, Vermont, I should die?
I have my own opinions. You have yours. Darryl has his. Chris has his. And you know what? May the better ideas prevail.
Those are mine. By the way,
you know what I mean? Like, I'm free to decide what kind of like if I don't like it here in New Hampshire, I would just move.
Yes, but if I don't like it in this country or somebody else doesn't like it in their own country, they shouldn't have to go through some strenuous process, because if I go state to state, I don't have to get a passport and permission from my own state to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, that's how this geographical location works, though, is because we've united 50 states, and that's why we have the luxury to do that.
Stefan, thank you for the call. Your calls and thoughts. Welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Want revenge on the common housefly? Well, after 10,000 years, someone has finally come up with a better way. The Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic and no batteries required. So much fun, you'll forget you have a wife and kids. $39.95 and free economy shipping. Use discount code GCN and get an extra 10% off your purchase at bugassault.com. Fire your fly swatter. Get your Bug Assault today.
Free Talk Live.
They believe, I think, that government can be good as long as you just elect the right people, which, of course, is nonsense. Government can never be good because it's an agency of coercive force. It doesn't matter who's running it. It doesn't matter what the goals of the organization are. As long as it's funded through coercion, as long as it's funded through threats of violence, then nothing it can do is ever moral or justified. They understand the system and they want to work inside it to change it. So, therefore, in order to have their hunger strike that they'd planned, which I thought was a great idea, they went to the government, and what they do?
Ask for a permit?
They asked for a permit. They asked for a permit. It was already over at that point, right? Whenever you ask permission from the government, you might as well expect them to say no. No!
You know what? It sounds like government has this non-cooperation thing down to a science.
Yeah, right?
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com. The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. In studio, it's Darryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And we'll get back into the discussion here in just a second. But first, I want to make sure that you are aware that we have forums. Yeah, you remember the old school forums that, well, I guess to some degree they're kind of making a comeback because there's, updated software on the forums and people actually still use them. Head over to forum.freetalklive.com. That's forum.freetalklive.com. So we're talking about immigration, and Heather, you've got a story from, where was this?
The National Review.
The National Review about the processes of legal immigration versus the people that
hop the border. Hop the border.
Yeah, the people that, quote, hop the border.
Okay, so going back into this, there's a quote. It says, "What I can't understand is the arrogance, the defiance of these people," referring to the ones that hop the border. "I could comprehend someone wanting a better life, sneaking in, and if caught, feeling apologetic. But these people are marching in front of cameras, in front of the whole world. They demand to be admitted here. Where does this sense of entitlement come from?" Rush came to America from an off-bloodied land, Lebanon. But rather than ford the Rio Grande, Rush did something rarely discussed these days. In 2011, she requested a visa online, spoke with diplomats at America's embassy in Beirut, and within 3 weeks received her papers. Current visa applications cost $1,140 plus $85 for biometric services for those between the ages of 14 and 78. Legal fees to get you through the process obviously vary depending on the attorney and how much work has to be done, explains Ira Melman of the Federation for American Immigration Reform. Some people obviously do it themselves. Rush reckons that she spent over $3,000 on her immigration case and waited 3.5 years between securing her green card and becoming a citizen.
So we're talking about a substantial financial outlay to come here.
Right. And I've known people that were in the process of getting their citizenship that had been here for a decade and spent upwards of $20,000. And these were people that were married with children.
Right.
And because, they didn't come from one of the right countries, there's extra hoops and hurdles.
Right.
And one of the things that most people don't realize about the immigration process, there are different rules for different countries.
Right. Depending on where you're coming from. So if you're coming from, Mexico, it's probably you're gonna have a hard time right now. If you were coming from Norway, probably not so much.
Yeah, but
if you're coming from Syria, you're probably not
damn
getting
near
in.
impossible.
Right.
Yeah, but you gotta understand too is that I am all about good people that want to come and work. I mean, that's what America's supposed to be about. Is
Tell me how we deal with these. But in this one small town where we needed basically 4,500 migrant workers to work crops.
Yeah.
How do we solve that?
It's a great discussion to have.
Temporary work visas.
Well, tell
Donald Trump actually wound up reducing the number of recently.
But these people coming over here, though, stealing identities, getting benefits.
One small town in Oregon. One tiny town needs 4,500 migrant workers.
Yeah, migrant workers are a good thing. I mean, even Gary Johnson, when he was running, he explained exactly how having certain migrant workers benefited the economy. It lowered the cost of goods. No, it's not all the same.
Okay, what's different about these people? Because a
lot of them are on work visas. There are a lot. Okay, undocumented and illegal are two totally different things.
No, it's not.
This article gets a little more into it. It gets into numbers.
I would love to see how they're coming up with a difference.
In stark contrast to those who pole vault over and tunnel under America's southern border, Rush says, "I came here legally, waited my turn, filed documents, paid for my applications, and abided by and respected the laws of this great country. I am thankful I was given this opportunity to be here, and I try to be worthy of this trust every day. Despite their invisibility, there are many more people like Rush who enter America properly. The National Visa Center in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, reports that as of November 1st, precisely 3,947,857 await family-sponsored visas. Another 112,189 seek employment-related visas. While the state, so clearly there's no shortage of people wanting to work. While the state people that are willing to do it the right way, we could grant those people the ability to come and work.
Are they interested in these $2 an hour jobs?
Well, let's ask them.
$5.
Let's ask them first. How about
Seriously,
that?
Yeah.
While the State Department evaluates these 4,060,046 applications, untabulated numbers of additional requests percolate overseas. Among those who arrived here on visas, some 13.2 million held green cards in January of 2014, according to a June 2017 study by the U.S. Office of Immigration Statistics. Of these, 8.9 million were eligible for citizenship after 5 years, typically, or just 3 for spouses of U.S. citizens. As of December 31st, 2017, there were over 165,000 green card holders who have filed paperwork for naturalization and await decisions, says the Center for Immigration Studies.
Does that center say how long they're going to wind up having to wait? Does it say what their legal fees are going to be while they do
citizenship
wait?
after 5 years, or typically just 3 for spouses.
Right. And I'm still not hearing how we're going to get the crops picked in this country. You know, that's my only question. How are you going to get the crops picked?
Okay, we can create immigration processes that are easier for, you know, if we were to put if we need immigrants and those jobs are advertised, people will come work them. And if there's immigrants.
So HB2 work visas, that the number of them was just reduced. And we actually covered a story a couple of weeks ago about how the crab industry in Maryland is now basically about to collapse because they can't find people to wind up processing the crabs.
There's millions of people waiting to come into this country that you could offer those jobs to.
When you make the whole immigration process more cumbersome.
Well, we can talk about making it easier without being
I thought that's what we were talking about.
But nobody really is.
But you can't, jumping the border illegally and just having no respect for the laws of the land at all. That's a little much for me.
Well, it solves the problem.
Hold on. Do you know what level offense crossing the border illegally is? Is it a felony? Is it a misdemeanor? Is it a civil violation?
I'm going with capital crime. You get shot for that kind of thing.
It's on par with jaywalking. It is a violation level offense. It is not a misdemeanor. It is not a felony.
You know,
that's interesting.
I'm grateful for the fact that America is not like some of these war-torn places, that it's not like, you know, that we have such a good place to, for the most part, to raise our kids. Like, yeah, it's not perfect. There's definitely things to, you know, that need to be fixed. But at the same time, I think it's so important that, you know, maybe Americans have lived such a sheltered life that they don't realize there are parts of the world that are pretty disgusting, and the types of humans that are bred in these environments can be like.
This is insane.
No,
I just
it's
gotta say, who on earth?
I've seen some pretty barbaric
I'm
stuff
gonna go.
on the
I
internet.
have to.
Like, I've seen literally like people in these countries that chop each other's heads off like it's nothing.
I'll grant you that. Yes.
I don't want those people.
Who are these Americans that have lived in America that did not have migrant farm workers? What have they been eating? What? I mean, when were they born? Were they born in like, you know, '04? You know, were they born in the first of the century before we had migrant workers?
I think
I'm telling
American
you, this is
farmers should be able to hire, you know, labor at their choice. But
they can't. It's illegal. They can't. They can't.
The number, I'll say it again for like the 5th time. The number of seasonal work visas has been cut in half.
Okay, well, cite some sources, please, because I feel like you're probably like.
No, that's fine.
Yeah,
let me pull the article up because we talked about it about a week ago.
Good.
Your calls and thoughts welcome, and please make it on something that's not immigration. 855-450-FREE.
Why? It's such an important topic,
855-450-3733. Coming up, Chris, you've got an article about a former Secret Service agent who, he's a bad guy and just got in trouble again. This is Free Talk Live. Imagine this is you. You're working late when you get an alert on your smartphone. Your motion-activated Blink security camera picked up something at home. You pop open the Blink app and see the silhouette of a man peering through your kitchen window. You dial 911 and the police roll. The job of a home security system is to help stop crime, which is why I chose Blink. Get 3 Blink cams for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com. Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Boost Kid Essentials Nutritionally Complete Drink, providing your picky eater with essential nutrition and great taste in one drink. Visit us at kidessentials.com. To make sure your kids eat healthy, follow the 5-a-day plan. Serve 3 servings of vegetables and 2 servings of fruit daily. Remember, a serving could just mean a piece of fruit or a half cup of veggies. If your kids are picky eaters, ask a nutritionist about other sources. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We'll get back into the discussion here in just a second. But first, I want to tell you about the best pillow that I have ever used. And Chris, I think you'll agree, best pillow you've ever used as well?
Certainly.
It's the My Pillow, and you can try one risk-free for 60 days. The My Pillow is designed to fit to the shape of your body and hold your neck in the proper position while you sleep. I've been using it for a couple of years, and yeah, it's the best pillow I've ever had. And unlike a regular pillow that's collected a lot of dirt and dead skin over the years, you can actually throw your MyPillow in the washer, throw it in the dryer, and it's still usable as a fluffy pillow that keeps your head and neck in the proper position. I actually did that just a few weeks ago. I washed my MyPillow, and yeah, it's just as good as it was the day I got it. Go to MyPillow.com. Use code FTL to get your very own MyPillow at half price, or you can get a second pillow free of charge. And remember, if you don't like it for some reason in the first 60 days, you can get your money back. And the pillow itself, that's guaranteed to last you 10 years. And if you've got pets, yeah, you can get a MyPillow for your pets as well. Jazzy the studio dog actually sleeps on a MyPillow bed. That's MyPillow.com, code FTL. So we've been talking about immigration and temporary work visas and other types of visas. And Heather, you had challenged me to cite my source on the reduction of H-2B visas. And, well, it turns out, even though this is something we discussed about a week and a half ago on Free Talk Live, the shortage of crab workers in Maryland because of the reduction of H-2B visas. Apparently, a Maryland congressman says that federal immigration officials have agreed to increase the number of seasonal guest worker visas by 15,000, which means you should be able to wind up getting your Maryland crab cakes again, because it looks like that industry is not going to collapse after all.
Yeah, so I wasn't sure about that because H-2Bs are non-agricultural.
But see, that's a perfect example of how, like we can have these conversations like, oh, well, these farmers need X amount of jobs. Perfect. Like, you know what? No Americans would be like, hey, like, let's not let, this farmer have their workers so that we can all pay $20 for a head of lettuce. You know
Actually,
what I mean?
there are people that say that.
I'm going to say that's a matter of opinion.
That there was legislation in Georgia a few years ago that basically wound up causing all of the farm workers to leave. The farmers then went and asked the Department of Prisons to send inmates to come pick the crops. And the inmates, after one day, said, yeah, I would rather go to solitary confinement than go back to the farm.
Yeah, there's a lot of examples of that. And that's the whole thing. We're not talking about migration when we talk about farmers. And when we talk about that, what we're talking about are seasonal workers, but 82% of U.S. farm workers, 82% of all people who farm were born in a different country. The bulk of them have lived here for 15 to 20 years, and I closed whatever I had that had these stats in it, but that's a ballpark. They're not.
Control-Shift-T will reopen that window.
Oh, Control-Shift-T, very clever. But the question is it's they're here already. They're happy. They're fine. They're working. But now what the focus of this administration seems to be on, we need to get them out of here.
No, I don't think it's that. It's that we need to have, just like this one. They're granting those extra visas to do the crab stuff or whatever.
These are people who did not come here legally.
There's ways that people can go apply for those jobs and do it the right way, as opposed to just sneaking into the country and helping themselves.
If they do that, then they make the job illegal because these jobs don't pay for over minimum wage.
I think that there's ways.
What I'm saying is this is the conundrum that we have government regulations that do some bad stuff over here. We have a completely different program, war on drugs, doing some bad stuff over here. We don't realize that we need to get rid of both of those,
right?
And accept the fact that people will move when it's in their best interest, and to put up a artificial or overly cumbersome boundary in between people and jobs, it's not going to work.
We can have documented workers, though.
Some you can. Some it's just not going to work. I'm telling you, if you had to replace all the farm workers in America and said, okay, well, it's spring now and crops are going to be coming up in about July, November, there's no way the federal government could do it because they're incompetent at that kind of thing. They're incompetent when large numbers they have to deal with them. You know what I mean? They never get here in time for the harvest. That's my point.
Yeah, well, we should. My point is that we shouldn't set a precedent that anybody can just flee here and help themselves.
But who are these people? Who are these just random people that...
Apparently, like a whole caravan full of these Honduran guys just have no respect.
I haven't followed the Honduran caravan story at all.
Nor have I. I've just heard people mention it.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of agree with this article, though. It's like, I'm one of those compassionate people. Like, I feel so bad when I see, like, some of the war-torn regions of the world and people, like, fleeing violence and stuff like that. Like, my heart breaks for those people. These guys, though, coming across the border, like, just like...
How about Syria? You okay with that?
What do you mean, Syria? I'm not okay. I'm
bunch
not
of Muslim
okay. Like,
immigrants there?
I don't like violence, but, you know, humans, like... Some of us suck. I mean, there's people out there that we're always going to be fighting over land. Like, I feel like this Israel, Palestine, Gaza stuff has been going on for the last 30, 40, 50 years. Like, it's just...
1,000.
And it's never going to stop.
1,000.
And it's just like, you know, my issue isn't Israel. It's not Palestine. It's my backyard. It's this first and foremost, it's my family, then it's my community, then it's my state, then it's my country. Like, you got to start locally and, like, you know, work on the things in your own backyard before you can, like, you know, if you really want to make a difference ultimately.
And meanwhile, Americans think that rules don't apply to them when they go to other places. Article from the BBC talking about the number of Americans that are illegally in Mexico. Of the 738,000 Americans that are living in Mexico, 60,000 are in the country illegally.
What?
Yeah.
Kick them out. Get rid of them.
I don't care. Mexicans can lock them up. If freaking Americans are stupid enough to do and go break another country's laws, it's their own fault.
As happens with a lot of the people that are in this country illegally, they've overstayed visas, a lot of them.
Right.
One story here is a woman who immigrated legally to Mexico. She got a job. They filed all the paperwork. She took a second job. That company failed to file any paperwork. She said, are you sure you don't have to file paperwork? They said, oh, yeah, we're good. We're good. Turns out, no, not so good. But yeah, I just think it's interesting. Just like a lot of times, and you hear this like every 4 years or so. Oh, if so-and-so gets elected president, I'm moving to Canada.
Right.
Well, do you know what the process is to move to Canada? Doesn't matter. I'm an American. I can do what I want. And then people find out that, oh, you want to actually renounce your American citizenship, you have to pay at least a $4,500 expat fee. And then if you have an estate valued at over a certain amount, you've got to pay extra taxes on top of that.
Yeah, you've got to give up your money. And then the Canadian process, because I did look into that when, you know, I was sitting there hoping that they would all leave. But it's a really complex system. And if ours is anything like that, fortunately, we as Americans, you know, because of national privilege or whatever you want to call it, it's relatively easy for us to migrate anywhere in the world. You know, Americans, most countries see American, they go, sure, you want to move here? Great. Bring your cash.
Why is that, though? Why is that?
Because we're one of the wealthiest countries in the world.
So because we bring something of value to the table, and they think by letting in Americans, it's going to be good for their economy, good for their country.
I consider farm workers to be very valuable.
Some of the countries just have policies of, you have $400,000, you get citizenship here.
I mean, how many homeless people are there in New Hampshire? Like, why aren't, you know... Isn't everyone just taking them in? You know what I mean? Like, oh, well, you know, why isn't Ian and all you guys, like, you know, you got all the churches and
homeless
stuff.
People. We have very few. We have almost no, whatchamacallit?
Poverty. Poverty is very low in New Hampshire.
Yeah, and so is unemployment's very low and all these things.
The unemployment figure is a little deceiving because
everywhere that is.
Right. Well, the way they count unemployment is the people that are collecting unemployment compensation, and it's more difficult to collect in New Hampshire than it is in some of the neighboring states.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Coming up, Secret Service Agent Sean Bridges. Yeah, you've probably heard that name. He's in the news again. Plus, there is some kind of patent thing with podcasting. This is
Were
Free
you
Talk
born before
Live.
the year 1956? If so, did you know you could be collecting between $575 and $2,200 in tax-free income right now? All thanks to the FHA. Or what about this? Did you know 54 U.S. congressmen have used a special tax-free account to earn up to 35 times more on their money? It's true, and you can do it too. These are just two of the secrets revealed inside a stunning new book from the Palm Beach Research Group and Ted Benna, the man behind the 401k. You'll discover the 18 best cash cows that can help you earn up to an extra $6,800 a month. Just go to 501kbook.com right now. If you're at or near retirement, this book is a must-read. You can get your own free copy. Shipping and handling charges apply. Just go to 501kbook.com right now while there are still copies left. That's 501kbook.com. 501kbook.com. Just go to 501kbook.com right now.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, May 17th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.43 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,288 per ounce. Zen Cash is trading at $29, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,315. Antiwar.com reports 10 of the 15 current members of the UN Security Council have signed a letter expressing profound concern about the lack of implementation of a 2016 resolution which called for a freeze of Israeli settlements built on Palestinian soil. The letter, addressed to Secretary General Antonio Guterres, was signed by Bolivia, Equatorial Guinea, Ivory Coast, Kazakhstan, Kuwait, the Netherlands, Peru, Sweden, and 2 permanent members, France and China. The 2016 resolution was a rare Security Council vote involving the occupation of Palestine that was not vetoed by the United States. The United States abstained and the resolution passed 14-0. President Trump was deeply critical of the resolution and has largely supported Israel's rapid expansion of its settlements ever since. The 10 nations expressing concern want the UN Secretary General to start submitting quarterly reports on the situation and the fact that Israel is flouting the resolution. The U.S. will almost certainly veto any attempts to do anything about the violations. Born into a devastating world and raised among the crowd, the Cloudwalker assumes a new identity and begins the unrelenting quest for truth. In this epic journey, he discovers dark secrets about aspects of his previous life that he once trusted. Fueled in the beginning by his unsettling thoughts and emotions, he learns how to find peace with everything he has woken up to. Dear Society by the Cloudwalker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. UPI reports a New York man wrongfully jailed for the murder of an off-duty corrections officer in New York as a child has been exonerated. 41-year-old John Bunn served 17 years in prison after being convicted of the murder at the age of 14 in August of 1991 based on tainted evidence produced by former detective Louis Scarcelli. Bunn said, "It's been 27 years. I've been fighting for my life and I've been fighting for my innocence." He was freed on parole in 2009 and won the right to a new trial in 2016, but he was ultimately exonerated after prosecutors said said they would not retry the case. Bunn said in court, "I didn't deserve any of that stuff that you all did to me," adding, "They won't admit it and say that I'm an innocent man, but I'm an innocent man, Your Honor, and I have always been an innocent man. You all convicted and had a wrong man in prison, and you all still have somebody on the loose that killed someone." Brooklyn Supreme Court Justice Shondia Simpson said Bunn should not have been imprisoned and questioned the legal process leading to his conviction. Simpson said the case was tried, a jury was picked, testimony was given, and it all concluded in one day. I don't consider that justice at all. Bunn and Roshan Hargrave, then 16, were convicted in the shooting of Rikers Island Corrections Officer Rolando Neischer and Robert Croson. They were placed in a photo array created by Scarcella for Croson, who survived the shooting and who identified Bunn and Hargrave as the suspects. Croson also served as the lone witness in the trial. Simpson told Bunn to move forward after the exoneration. In the years since his parole, Bunn started a nonprofit literacy organization called A Voice for the Unheard and has collected more than 20,000 books for New York inmates. Bunn said, "I don't know how I made it this far, but I believe I'm here for a purpose." Hargrave's conviction was also thrown out, and his case will not be retried. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports the U.S. Department of Transportation told airlines on Tuesday that they must continue to allow the transport of the most common service animals, but said it was asking for public comment about amending its existing regulations. The DOT said in a statement that it wants to ensure that individuals with disabilities can continue to use their service animals while also helping to ensure that the fraudulent use of other animals not qualified as service animals is deterred. There are growing concerns among airlines about passengers bringing aboard exotic creatures that could pose a safety risk, and companies have recently begun tightening requirements. The DOT said it would focus on ensuring that carriers in the United States continue to accept the most commonly used service animals, dogs, cats, and miniature horses. Existing rules allow airlines to deny transport to animals such as snakes, other reptiles, ferrets, rodents, and spiders. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
On June 4th, 1919, a group of bold, passionate men took it upon themselves to pass the Women's Suffrage Act, finally granting women the right to vote that they were too frail and helpless to achieve on their own. Having long watched women struggle to stand up for their right to choose elected officials, the strong and capable men decided to intercede and aid their weak female counterparts. And on June 6, 1972, David Bowie's release of his concept album, The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust, kick-started the glam rock genre and led to such spin-off trends as glam medicine, glam sports, and glamcatecture, all culminating in the 1976 presidential glam election. And that was what happened this week in history. In the words of French King John II, history will forever remember the great names of Alexander and Napoleon and Washington. But what about me, John II of France? I did stuff too.
This is the Onion News Network.
This is Free Talk Live. This is Free Talk Live, kicking off hour number 2. You can join us by dialing in toll-free 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. In studio tonight, it's Darryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And let's go to the phones where we've got Dodger calling in from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Dodger, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Hello. I just wanted to talk about there's this woman here in Kalamazoo that is actually taking sanctuary in church downtown. Her name is, and I'm probably going to botch this, Sahida Perveen Nadeem. And she's from Pakistan. She's been in Kalamazoo for 13 years. And her work primarily has been helping refugees and, people like that. But, and she's got a son attending the local university as well. and she is now has to take sanctuary in a local church in order to keep from being deported. And the church and the community is supporting her. The church actually has a sign on the door that nobody's allowed in without a search warrant. And I mean, it's really kind of a messed up situation. She's been here for 13 years. She's been a productive member of society, has a child going to the local university, and yet if she leaves the church, she has the threat of being deported back to Pakistan.
Now, what happened? Like, her work thing expired?
I really don't know. I mean, I caught it on the local news, and I was reading a little bit about it. Okay. But it just, it just kind of seems, to me, I mean, I'm under the opinion that free people should be able to cross borders freely. And, call me an anarchist or a volunteerist, whatever. I don't believe in borders. So it just kind of seems ridiculous that if she steps foot out of this church, she faces going back to a place that she doesn't want to go to. And the funny thing is she's a devout Muslim, and a Christian church has taken her in.
The Kalamazoo 1st Congressional UCC is providing sanctuary.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm skimming articles, too, to find a little bit of backstory.
Yeah, I found an article from MLive that links over. There's a GoFundMe to help the church raise the funds to wind up. Apparently, they have an apartment that is connected to the church, it seems like. Just trying to skim this and figure out exactly what happened as far as, why she is wanted by ICE. Did her visa expire? Did some kind of paperwork get lost in the mail? Because that happens.
Yeah, she's been here.
I'm not one.
I'm sorry.
It just kind of seems ridiculous to me, myself, that here is somebody that has been a productive member of society, helping people out. She had 2 children in college. Unfortunately, it seems as if one of them passed away. But she still has 1 child attending the local university, her son, and she can't step outside. She can't get fresh air.
See, that's where I feel like people like her are the kind of people that we'd want to encourage to come to America, like productive members of society and like just good, kind people, But there's a lot of bad people that also come in this country, and that's, still an issue for me.
Well, when they come here for illegal reasons, I mean, that's a completely different issue.
Well, that's what that article I was talking about earlier touched on, is like the people that come here because they're fleeing a bad thing and they want a better life and they're apologetic when they get here. That's totally different than arrogant people that come here, feel entitled, and they're just like, screw America, we're going to come in here anyway, whether you want us or not. Like, those are the kind of people I'm like, why don't you go back to where you came from?
Right, but government
if you're
doesn't.
not grateful to be in America and surrounded by a lot of like compassionate people, then go back to where you came from.
I'm not always thrilled to be here myself.
I think I am. I'm pretty.
You're upbeat. You like it here.
I'm an optimist. I think it's great. I don't take for granted that.
But those people that are going to come here.
Understand.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Doctor.
I don't understand why she would have chosen Kalamazoo, Michigan, because it's kind of not the greatest community. I wish that she would have chosen New Hampshire. I mean, that's my end game.
Based on what I was skimming as far as articles, it sounds like the reason she went to Kalamazoo is because the children, the daughter who has passed away and the son that's currently alive, were attending school at Western Michigan, which is there in Kalamazoo. So she went where her kids were.
Right.
Okay, yeah. All right, I guess that makes more sense. They didn't say that on the news. I didn't know if they, because, I mean, she's been here for 13 years. They're going to school based on what's called the Kalamazoo Promise. Kalamazoo is the first place in the nation that actually a private organization actually promised that anybody that graduated from their schools actually got free tuition.
Right.
And it was kind of original, and I liked the idea because it was a private organization that actually came through with the Kalamazoo Promise. But, she's been here for 13 years, so maybe that's the reason why it was the Kalamazoo Promise. I don't know, but in the same sense, I think it's pretty ridiculous to be stuck and that on the news, I forgot if it was last night or this morning, they actually showed this little apartment that's like in the basement of the church. She barely has a window to look out.
Right.
And even though she's a devout Muslim, she still attends their services and all of that. I just think that it's kind of a great way to show that, people coming together for something that's wrong. And this is absolutely wrong, and they don't want to tear apart the family.
Right.
Yeah.
She did overstay her visa. That was the reason. I did find that in an article from WMUK. But yeah, and everybody, nobody's going to hear this story and go, well, she still's got to go. They're going to come up, and this is where the compassion comes out. Well, she lost a daughter. She came here to be with her children. She overstayed her visa. She didn't, cross the border illegally and all this good stuff. But right. But the broad strokes of government don't see that. This is why
that is an issue where I would be like, you know what, this woman should have an easy renewal process. If she's already been here, she's already been feted, she's already, paid her dues to come here and got her visa and stuff like that. I see no reason in her, she shouldn't be able to stay.
What if she hasn't done all the paperwork? What if she hasn't done any of that? What if she's just came here to be with her kids?
It's if in the beginning,
in the meantime,
I
she
think
started something to help developmentally challenged people, and this is what she's done.
I do think that there should be, standards of entry. What those standards should be, I can debate. I don't think it should just be like a free-for-all, though.
Well, she came in on a visa, and I think the number, and this is, I've got to think it's a myth. People are acting like millions of bad actors are flowing across our borders every day, and I just don't know where that comes from.
There's
it comes from fear. It does. I know.
It's real life, though. There's the real life. Like, war exists. Politics is warfare by definition.
Yes, there are some bad people that are alive. Some bad people are born in this country. Some bad people are born in other countries.
Humans are territorial by nature. There's countries that go to wars with each other. Like, people fight. This is basic human behavior. To deny its existence is just stupidity.
Well, this is just saying some people deserve compassion when they come here.
They do,
and in
but
some
at the
cases,
same time,
we need them.
Just because. So are you going to feed every homeless person that knocks on your doorstep? Because we could advertise.
If I could, I would.
Exactly, but you can't help everyone. So that's what I'm saying is, as sad as it is, we can't take care of all of the world's problems, but we should try to help as many people as we can within our limits.
Dodger, continue your thought.
Yes. What I have to say about that is, really that there's no one solution for this problem.
Yeah.
And the fact that here's a woman, has children in, a productive member of society, and yet still facing, and what they were saying on the local news when I saw this story, which broke my heart.
All right, hold the thought, Dad. Hold the thought, Dodger. This is Free Talk Live, 855 450 free.
She's such a beautiful little puppy. We walk around the block, and neighbors always say, her hair is so beautiful.
Healthy and shiny and glossy. DINOVITE.com.
Fatty acids, omega-3s, and omega-6s are great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
I would really recommend people starting their puppies on Dynavite before they get into what I would call the misery index. Bad skin, bad ears, bad breath.
Because if they're getting all their vitamins, micronutrients, microbials from the beginning, then you're not going to run into the problems associated with the allergies, grass, pollen, dust, dirt, fleas, ticks, you name it, and the itching and shedding down the road.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
Dynavite for life.
This is Ed Lukasevic
and Cindy Lukasevic,
inviting you and your pets to Dynavite.
859-428-1000. DINOVITE.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Good technology is good, but the philosophy behind the tech is important. And Zencash was made by voluntarists with the ideas of voluntary interaction being embedded into the white paper. With no central authority or single point of failure, Zencash is more resilient than a traditional corporation. Everyone has an equal opportunity to participate in decision-making, which empowers stakeholders and makes Zencash less susceptible to third-party influence. And Zencash allows for secure private transactions. Learn more at zencash.com. Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. That's how you can call in and chat with us, the Us in Studio, Darryl,
Heather,
and Chris.
And before we get back to the phones, I want to make sure that I tell you about Zencash. Why? Well, because good technology is good, but the philosophy behind the tech is also important. And Zencash was made by voluntarists with the ideas of voluntary interaction being embedded into the white paper. With no central authority or single point of failure, Zencash is more resilient than a traditional corporation. Everyone has an opportunity to participate in decision-making, which empowers stakeholders and makes Zencash less susceptible to third-party influence. And with over 11,000 secure nodes, Zencash is one of the most distributed secure systems of any cryptocurrency. And Zencash allows for secure private transactions. Learn more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com. Going back to Dodger calling in from Kalamazoo. Dodger, you had called in to tell us about this lady in Kalamazoo, Sahida Perveen Nadeem, who is currently being given asylum in Kalamazoo's First Congressional Church. She's 62 years old, and the reason that the church is housing her is because ICE wants to send her back to Pakistan, even though she's been in the country for 13 years.
Yeah, and I saw her pleadings on the news, and she says that this is her home. She loves this place, and the whole thing about the visas, before anybody can pass judgment on who can be here legally and illegally, why not? You don't know what a person goes through unless you walk a mile in their shoes. And so me having been legal, born here on the landmass known as the United States, I'm a legal citizen, so it's not anything I have to worry about. What does a person have to go through to come here? And likewise, what does a person have to go through to leave?
Though my thing is I don't want America turning into the type of nation that people need to flee from. And that's the only reason I think that we should have some standards of entry.
Oh, I thought you were going to say some standards for government.
No, like standards of entry. Like, I want good people like her to be able to come here. I think that's like a good thing. But at the same time, you have to understand these people are fleeing countries. And the problem we need to be asking is, why did their country turn to what it is that people need to flee from, and so that we can prevent that from happening on American soil?
They have different systems of government. They have different,
exactly, but we don't want
things.
People coming here bringing those types of government.
This is the kind of xenophobic topic.
For the same reason you wouldn't want Massachusetts voters to come in and vote big government here in New Hampshire, the free state.
Right,
it's the same
but we
concept.
heard how all these Muslims were going to come here from Syria and turn the United States into a country ruled by Sharia law.
I mean, there's a lot of theories out there, but there's still a lot of violent countries with violent ideologies and stuff like that. And I think it's a perfectly reasonable concern to say we want to preserve the fact that America is a nice, peaceful place to live right now. And I think I want people...
That's my question. I mean, we've got a war on drugs, and that's where most of our crime comes from.
I mean,
that's literally the government declaring war on our people. Go ahead.
What was that, Dodger?
I was detained just this afternoon because some kids wanted to start a fight with me. I mean, is this really a peaceful? I mean, and really, my thought goes to the fact that you take. America is probably one of the most economically free places to live in the world, and
it's
I
top
can agree
50.
with that.
Yeah, top 50.
One of the. But I mean, in the same sense, that makes it pretty attractive for people coming from these places that they can't even get enough money, and then our government wants to charge them, what is it, something like $15,000 and put them on a lottery and blah, blah, blah. You have to jump through so many hoops just to be able to become a citizen here. And then,
because it's such a desirable place to live, though.
Hong Kong, Singapore, New Zealand are way more desirable than those.
Well, then,
they just don't happen to share borders with countries that happen to have lower GDPs. They have less economic development.
When I was over in Europe, I was talking, to some people out there about how there's people fleeing into those countries. I mean, every peaceful place kind of has this issue. Like where there's war, people flee. Where there's bomb being dropped, people flee. Where there's violence, people flee. And it's sad. And, like I want to help as many people as we can. But at the same time, like, I'm also being, aware of the fact that I don't want that to happen here in America. And I think it's a perfectly...
Really? I mean, you really think that'll happen?
It can, absolutely.
After 250 years,
it's a possibility.
We've had immigration from countries all over the world over our entire history. And all of a sudden, it's the great brown threat. That the Mexicans who come up here literally do the jobs we are forbidden from offering to Americans.
It has nothing to do with brown or white. I don't know why you brought that up.
It certainly does.
Dodger, any final thoughts?
Doesn't the Statue of Liberty say, give me your tired, your poor,
your huddled masses?
your whole masses yearning to be free. And really, the immigration policies, in my opinion, over the last 100 years have become crap because this is the world's melting pot, or at least I thought it was supposed to be. And yet we secure our borders and don't want, make it damn near impossible to let new people come in here, coming from places of poverty and despair. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, why not just frickin' these people? I'm more scared of the drug dealer down the street, which that's a whole nother subject about the war on drugs, but I'm more scared of him than I am of an illegal immigrant.
Dodger, thank you for the call. Let's go to Bad Slave calling in on Skype. Bad Slave, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Hi, Darryl, Heather, and Chris. Thanks for taking my call.
Yep, go ahead with your thought.
We have this thing of force that applies everywhere. What's his name? The Chinese guy.
Mao Zedong.
Mao. All
right.
He said that political power comes from the barrel of a gun. And that's true. And that's exactly why, the ignorant of America are getting on board with gun control.
Hold that thought. Hold the thought, Bad Slave. We'll come back with you and possibly you. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
It's a no-brainer. A Big Berkey water filter is the one you need, period. You need a water filter that removes chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, BPA, and other endocrine disruptors, pesticides, bacteria, viruses, and much more, right? And does it all at only 2 cents per gallon. Get the original and most trusted name in gravity water filtration, Big Berkey. And now GCN listeners receive 5% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN. Call or click 1-877-99-BERKEY or BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855 450 free. That's 855 450 3733. We'll get back to the phones in just a second, but want to make sure that I tell you about a way that you can watch us. Yeah, that's right. You can listen, that's fine, but if you're one of these people that likes to watch people sitting behind microphones, then you can head over to twitch.lrn.fm, and that's where you can watch not just the live stream of this show, Free Talk Live, but any of the other live shows that happen in the LRN studio. And occasionally, some people play some video games on the Twitch stream, twitch.lrn.fm. Let's go back to Skype, where we've got Bad Slave calling in. Bad Slave, you wanted to sort of change the discussion to talk about gun control, so continue with your thought.
Well, not actually. War has come into the discussion. And I say that gun control is the way to war. That in fact, taking away the individual's power, which is what you're doing when you're taking that barrel of a gun from the individual and putting it in the hands of the government and the army and the police, and you're making it much easier for the powers that be to start wars. And they still, have to indulge in fraud and deception in order to get us into wars. Almost every, large conflict that the U.S. has gotten itself into has been a subterfuge that causes all kinds of problems, and it's all lies. It's all disgusting, and people, that's why 100 years ago the banksters figured out, well, we've got to learn to control the press. They did. They paid for that. They bought the press back in the 19-teens.
Sure.
And they're still buying it. They're still running it. I mean, it's just expanded into
let me ask this question.
Everything.
Let me ask this question, Bad Slave, because there are some people that have made the claim that if we just get rid of the Federal Reserve, then the United States government cannot get into wars because well, I'm not really sure what their because is. But do you agree with that? That if the Federal Reserve ceased to exist, that the U.S. military would not be involved in conflicts?
Oh, I doubt that'd be just a simple, plus and minus. It would be the biggest, I think, effect to not have money ready for
I'm just
people.
thinking of some of the wars that happened before the Federal Reserve was created, such as the Spanish-American War.
Yeah, but you had
the Mexican-American War.
We had central banks and we had fiat currencies through a large part of our history.
Right. There was no American central bank during the Spanish-American War.
I agree. And how long
during the Mexican-American War?
Yeah, and tell me how long those wars lasted. Was it not weeks in case of the Spanish-American War?
Well, they weren't long, but it was definitely empire mode for the United States government.
It certainly was, and you and I agree on that. But the case that having an endless supply, a lender of last resort to governments, it's hard to deny that the length of war and the number of wars has increased under central bank theory. And this isn't just our country; it's all countries. And I'd love to see it, and it would be great for our economy. That's the part that nobody seems to really talk about, but. In addition to all the other benefits, when you have sound money, you have a tendency for people to save as opposed to just spend and be focused on consumption. So it would make people's lives better.
The other thing that would be necessary, Chris, is to make it harder to maintain a standing army. I actually wish to go back to the arrangements of everybody being armed and trained as a militia.
Right.
And
at the state level is fine with me.
At the local level, this is a local thing, and that if we have attackers, we're ready.
Yeah,
we will be ready. That's what Switzerland has.
Well, I mean, you've got to realize how many attacks we have had on our shores over the last 100 years, and that's why we. Oh wait, hold on, none. We were just saying immigration was an attack.
Two.
What?
We had the Japanese did fire some bombs on Oregon.
No,
during World War.
And
I'm talking about Pearl Harbor and 9/11.
Well, Pearl Harbor
were attacks on American soil.
And
there was a bombing in 1993 too.
Those were basically both arranged.
I mean, that's speculation, but
it's not.
There's definitely fishy stuff about the actual report, but I don't think anybody with access to the internet is necessarily qualified to give like a leading expert testimony as to what went happen on every terrorist attack. I mean, there's PIs and investigators that study this stuff for a living 24 hours a day, but yet everyone with access to the internet.
Evidence is showing up. The evidence is showing up for 9/11, and
do you know how easy it is to falsify evidence these days? I mean, you can Photoshop videos and make them look so real.
Yeah. Hold on, Bad Slave. I couldn't hear any of what you just said. Go ahead.
The evidence for Pearl Harbor is well established, and they were putting people in jail. They jailed for a few days a major reporter who was friendly with FDR. That in D.C. they jailed the guy so that he wouldn't report to the Pacific Fleet that there was an attack coming. There was a deliberate effort to suppress the Japanese attacking Pearl Harbor. It just was, and there is no argument. Nobody wants to talk about it because it really points out how bad government is and how much we need to suppress the extraordinary power of government.
Mm-hmm.
And Bad Slave, thanks, you for the call. Let's go to
I've actually been to Pearl
Vernon
Harbor.
calling in from New Orleans.
Yeah.
Vernon, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
I don't want to say totally, but I do agree with Melanie's opinion about the border.
Melanie's not on tonight. I think you mean Heather.
I'm sorry, whoever. Heather, whatever.
One of our many female co-hosts here on Free Talk Live.
The female co-host.
Both
of them. Do I want to live in Mexico? No. Do I want America to be like Mexico? No. Am I saying that open borders would make it be like Mexico? Maybe, maybe not. But I could just imagine if there's absolutely no sort of prevention from certain types of people coming into the United States. I could only imagine, would we be overrun? Again, I don't know, but I would imagine so, because it is a great place to live, and it's not even like, I'm not trying to be a true patriot, quote unquote, or anything, but just everyday living. I can go to the grocery store. I have power. I have all these things that make I have air conditioning. I have a heater. I mean, I've been to Haiti before. They have power 2 nights out of the week, and they still use outhouses. I mean,
can we hold him? Hold him over.
Yeah,
hold me over.
Vernon, we'll hold you over. I'm sure you've got more to say.
I'm curious to hear about Haiti too.
Yeah, and Haiti's an interesting comparison to Dominican Republic, the country that they share an island with. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved Lico Chops with omega-6, omega-3, vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system. And dogs love it. Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynavite.
DINOVITE.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
Healthcare reform is confusing. With the loss of the Obamacare mandate, those needing help can now choose an affordable alternative. By joining Liberty HealthShare, you're part of a community of health-conscious Americans all over the country who control their own healthcare costs and choices. Liberty HealthShare is not insurance. It is an association of self-pay patients who unite with like-minded people to share the cost of their medical needs. Neighbor helping neighbor. Learn more now by going to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
Bacon lovers, we ship free. Try our amazing bacon. No refrigeration required. Proprietary value-added packaging provides 10 years shelf life and protects the leanest, thickest, center-cut, fully cooked bacon in America today. Ready to eat right from the pouch or warm and serve. Savory and delicious. Wholesale price for your everyday use. Order today at readytoeatbacon.com. readytoeatbacon.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We'll go back to the phones in just a moment, but first imagine this scenario in your head. You're working late and you get an alert on your smartphone that something has passed in front of your Blink motion-activated security camera at your house. There's something odd outside your phone or outside your home. You open up the app and you see a silhouette of someone peering through your kitchen window. So you pick up your phone, call your spouse, threat prevented. That's why Blink has sold over 1 million motion-activated security cameras. The point of having a home security system is to help alert you before someone breaks into your house, not after. Blink video cams are wire-free, and the setup is super easy and fast, and Blink's live feed allows you to monitor your home from your smartphone. No contracts, no subscriptions. Here's the deal. Get 3 Blink security cameras for way less than what the other guys charge and get an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. That's BlinkProtect, all one word, blinkprotect.com/FTL, as in Free Talk Live. blinkprotect.com/FTL. Let's go back to the phone where we've got Vernon calling in from New Orleans. Vernon, you called in to say that you agree with Heather on the issue of immigration, and you were in the middle of making a point when that segment ended, so continue with your thought.
I was in the middle of rambling, actually. My whole point was
You said something about Haiti.
I did go to Haiti, but my whole point, let me just wrap that thought up, and then we can talk about whatever. If we have, I enjoy my standard of living. And if we have open borders, there is a possibility that people coming from countries that have a much lower standard of living than we're used to may create a different standard of living and possibly create an atmosphere that is dangerous. Like in Mexico. Can I drive a car down in Mexico in the middle of nowhere? I would probably never do that unless it looked like a piece of junk pickup truck or something. And still, that may not be something I would ever do. But in America, I don't even think about ever getting shot or hijacked. And of course, some municipalities or something. But in general, I feel relatively safe here. And I feel like the water is relatively safe to drink. And I feel like, I can go use the bathroom. And even in the nastiest of gas stations, they still flush. I mean, and I'm not saying that we should not have any immigration at all. It just needs to be controlled. Now, how do you control it? I don't think this current system is working the way it should. I think it's very discriminatory, especially towards people that truly should come to our country. And but at the same time, it does prevent a lot of people from being able to come here that I think shouldn't be here. So.
Yeah, I agree 100% with everything you just said.
So I just got to ask, I mean, for the last 10, 15, 20 years, we've had immigration that has ebbed and flowed. It's gone up, it's gone down. Over the last few years, it's been going down. Where is this horrific vision of all these people coming here and turning it into a
I mean, we
Mexico
also
or a
have plenty of
Haiti.
people that have been deported over the last so many years.
Well, this has been going on for years. I mean, this is something.
30,000 plus. Well, there's 30,000 plus Border Patrol agents, and we're spending billions of our own dollars on keeping that from happening. So perhaps if we reduced the Border Patrol and the fence got torn down, and then maybe we would have this massive. And I don't think it would take over the entire country. I just think it would take time, maybe decades, where you would first start to see maybe Texas transform. And you can already see some of Texas transform, especially near the border.
Especially Southern California, too.
Well, it's interesting you bring those two up because in looking at some interactive maps from migrationpolicy.org, you can see the number of, I mean, you have a huge congregation of people around the Los Angeles area, and you have a huge congregation of people in Texas. You have a little bit in Illinois, and then the rest of the country, even Oregon, where I grew up, which I felt we had a lot of migrant workers and illegal immigrants, just not really there. So
right, but if you look
it's
at
sort of
any
a
kind
localized.
if you look at any kind of map showing where people of different ethnicities live, you'll see that there are large German populations in Pennsylvania. There's large Scandinavian populations in Minnesota, of all places.
Oh, yeah.
So, people tend to, when they're coming to this country from other places, they're going to tend to go to people or areas where people that have a similar background are, because people like to relate to others.
I don't disagree with you, Darryl. I agree completely. You're absolutely right. But your common man on the street who's suddenly fearful for this great horde of people that's coming to America.
But we have a mechanism in place that's preventing it.
Pictures that this is going to be the norm on every street corner. And that is just a false narrative.
Oh, like the taco trucks on every corner sort of thing?
No, you have examples of it here in the United States with gentrification, with large cities where, we're doing it to our own people, where, like in New Orleans, for example, these ghetto places that nobody would ever live all of a sudden are just becoming very popular. And you have properties that were going for $50,000 now for over $400,000, and there's still crappy neighborhoods, yet people want to live in them.
Right.
And so I feel like the same thing can slowly happen with time. And a good example, I don't know if y'all have any Hispanic neighborhoods, and I'm not saying that all Hispanic neighborhoods are exactly the same, but just from in general, what I've seen, Hispanic neighborhoods tend to be in lower poverty areas, and they tend to reflect what you would see in Mexico.
Well, I'll go two different ways on that because I do have some experience here. I've been in some big cities, and I've spent some time in Denver, which has a pretty decent size Hispanic. I would say it's a Hispanic ghetto. Mm-hmm. Okay, for lack of a better word, that's what it is. And when I moved up here from Pennsylvania, there was a small town called York Springs that had tons of apple orchards. And if you drove through that town in Mexico, in the summer during the season, it looked like a Mexican fiesta every day. It looked like parades were literally going down the street. Every store in this, like couple thousand people in this town, brightly colored, everything in Spanish. And that's the way it was about, half of the year. And that was...
What's the problem?
There was no problem.
Yeah, and nobody has any issue with people coming into this country that respect our standards.
They don't respect our standards. They come here illegal and they do a job.
I don't care if Hispanic people want to come to America and live and have their fiestas and stuff like that. That's fine as long as they're respectable people that aren't trash. And I'm sorry, but we don't want scummy people coming here.
I don't want my property values to go down because I have a Hispanic neighbor that thinks it's Mexico, that's never been to the United States, knows nothing about our own culture, and doesn't take care of their property, and then devalues the entire neighborhood.
But then your property taxes go down.
Yeah, no
great.
thanks.
Well, then I guess that $250,000 house I bought, I can sell for $150,000 thanks to the gentrification in my neighborhood transforming into a ghetto.
Well, one thing that I've never understood is the people that complain about high property taxes, but also complain about when the property value goes down.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I know that I know that Free Talk Live owns a house that's through a church, and I don't think y'all even pay property taxes. So
Actually, there are property taxes that are paid on this property because the city continues to deny the property tax exemption. Vernon, thank you for the call.
Yeah. The other.
He makes a lot of good points, though.
He makes points.
I mean, you can't deny that. Like, your community is, and your value of your home and everything like that is all a reflection of the people that we surround ourselves with. And if we start allowing people from, just war-torn ghetto-type areas flooding into this country, then that's what we're going to see here.
Where's this coming from? Because it hasn't occurred.
There are plenty of cities overrun with these types of people.
And who are these types of people, and who do we trust to take care of them?
It has nothing to just ghetto people in general,
So we're talking what?
Detroit.
Poor black Americans too?
No, it has nothing to do with just people that aren't like
us.
That don't have a certain standard of living, that they're not respectable. They're
We got plenty of Americans like that.
Yeah, plenty of them, sure. But, he just made so many good points. So, you know what? I don't even have to keep going. He made some great points about the standard. Yeah, the standard of living. I mean, you guys want to act all nice, but you know what? Like, you can let your own, you want it to be a free-for-all and have this country go to crap, and then I'd just be sitting here like, well, I told you so, as, the freaking crime increased, and all of a sudden
I've been watching this for decades, and this immediate concern just never comes.
Because
this is Free Talk Live.
a good
Your
national
calls
defense.
and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733.
Were you born before the year 1956? If so, did you know you could be collecting between $575 and $2,200 in tax-free income right now? All thanks to the FHA. Or what about this? Did you know 54 U.S. congressmen have used a special tax-free account to earn up to 35 times more on their money? It's true, and you can do it too. These are just two of the secrets revealed inside a stunning new book from the Palm Beach Research Group and Ted Benna, the man behind the 401k. You'll discover the 18 best cash cows that can help you earn up to an extra $6,800 a month. Just go to 501kbook.com right now. If you're at or near retirement, this book is a must-read. You can get your own free copy. Shipping and handling charges apply. Just go to 501kbook.com right now while there are still copies left. That's 501kbook.com. 501kbook.com. Just go to 501kbook.com right now.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, May 17th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.43 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,288 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $29, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,315. Antiwar.com reports 10 of the 15 current members of the UN Security Council have signed a letter expressing profound concern about the lack of implementation of a 2016 resolution which called for a freeze of Israeli settlements built on Palestinian soil. The letter, addressed to Secretary General Antonio Guterres, was signed by Bolivia, Equatorial Guinea, Ivory Coast, Kazakhstan, Kuwait, the Netherlands, Peru, Sweden, and 2 permanent members, France and China. The 2016 resolution was a rare Security Council vote involving the occupation of Palestine that was not vetoed by the United States. The United States abstained and the resolution passed 14-0. President Trump was deeply critical of the resolution and has largely supported Israel's rapid expansion of its settlements ever since. The 10 nations expressing concern want the UN Secretary General to start submitting quarterly reports on the situation and the fact that Israel is flouting the resolution. The U.S. will almost certainly veto any attempts to do anything about the violations. Born into a devastating world and raised among the crowd, the Cloudwalker assumes a new identity and begins the unrelenting quest for truth. In this epic journey, he discovers dark secrets about aspects of his previous life that he once trusted. Fueled in the beginning by his unsettling thoughts and emotions, he learns how to find peace with everything he has woken up to. Dear Society by the Cloudwalker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. UPI reports a New York man wrongfully jailed for the murder of an off-duty corrections officer in New York as a child has been exonerated. 41-year-old John Bunn served 17 years in prison after being convicted of the murder at the age of 14 in August of 1991 based on tainted evidence produced by former detective Louis Scarcelli. Bunn said, "It's been 27 years. I've been fighting for my life and I've been fighting for my innocence." He was freed on parole in 2009 and won the right to a new trial in 2016, but he was ultimately exonerated after prosecutors said they would not retry the case. Bunn said in court, "I didn't deserve any of that stuff that you all did to me," adding, "They won't admit it and say that I'm an innocent man, but I'm an innocent man, Your Honor, and I have always been an innocent man. You all convicted and had a wrong man in prison, and you all still have somebody on the loose that killed someone." Brooklyn Supreme Court Justice Shondia Simpson said Bunn should not have been imprisoned and questioned the legal process leading to his conviction. Simpson said the case was tried, a jury was picked, testimony was given, and it all concluded in one day. I don't consider that justice at all. Bunn and Roshan Hargrave, then 16, were convicted in the shooting of Rikers Island Corrections Officer Rolando Neischer and Robert Croson. They were placed in a photo array created by Scarcella for Croson, who survived the shooting and who identified Bunn and Hargrave as the suspects. Croson also served as the lone witness in the trial. Simpson told Bunn to move forward after the exoneration. In the years since his parole, Bunn started a nonprofit literacy organization called A Voice for the Unheard and has collected more than 20,000 books for New York inmates. Bunn said, "I don't know how I made it this far, but I believe I'm here for a purpose." Hargrave's conviction was also thrown out, and his case will not be retried. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports the U.S. Department of Transportation told airlines on Tuesday that they must continue to allow the transport of the most common service animals, but said it was asking for public comment about amending its existing regulations. The DOT said in a statement that it wants to ensure that individuals with disabilities can continue to use their service animals while also helping to ensure that the fraudulent use of other animals not qualified as service animals is deterred. There are growing concerns among airlines about passengers bringing aboard exotic creatures that could pose a safety risk, and companies have recently begun tightening requirements. The DOT said it would focus on ensuring that carriers in the United States continue to accept the most commonly used service animals, dogs, cats, and miniature horses. Existing rules allow airlines to deny transport to animals such as snakes, other reptiles, ferrets, rodents, and spiders. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Americans across the nation made their voices heard this week as they demanded more mind-blowing guitar solos. Calling for the solos to be, quote, face-meltingly cool and go on for well over 10 minutes, Americans stressed that all guitar solos from now on should be equally as kick-ass as those in Van Halen's Hot for Teacher and AC/DC's Thunderstruck, or even better.
It should start out really slow, you know? and then get faster and faster until they're all the way up at the top of the guitar neck and bending the notes like crazy. So it's like, and then there's all this awesome pyrotechnic stuff going off in the background. They should all be like that.
And in this week's local news, a report noted that on its surface, Glenbrook, Ohio is a small town like any other, a peaceful, all-American town. And yet, the report's authors added, if you only look closer, what you find may surprise you. In other news, a man is just having one of those decades where he doesn't feel like doing anything.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. Kicking off hour number 3, you can join us by dialing toll-free 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. In studio, it's Darryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And Chris, you've got a story about a podcast patent of some sorts that apparently the ruling here is that Free Talk Live and other programs that have RSS feeds where people can download and listen to archives, we're not going to prison for calling it a podcast?
That's correct, Darryl.
Woohoo!
And I also have another story which we may want to touch on. That says a man calls his girlfriend Yanni during sex and swears he said Laurel.
No,
so
we
we're
are
not
talking about the
That was a meme.
newest...
That's not what the whole thing was about, though.
I know it. That's a joke about the meme. Get it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
okay,
every
okay.
few months, and since you mentioned it, and now I want to stab you in the eyeball.
Yanni.
Every few months, there's some stupid thing that breaks the internet. Is it a blue dress? Is it a gold dress? What color's this shoe? Is this person saying Yanni? Is this person saying Laurel?
Well, we all
it's
just
absolutely
in studio.
stupid arguments, and then instead of whoever posts the thing saying, "Here's what it actually is," people on the internet freak out.
I know, isn't it fun?
No, I've got better stuff to do.
For everyone but you, Darryl. Everyone, and I do mean everyone but you.
I'll have to ask our Friday night Chris, who doesn't, even though he builds computers.
Yeah,
he doesn't use the internet.
Yeah, of
really. So I'll ask him if he thinks it's fun.
He'll be fascinated by it. I'm confident in that.
No.
So this story comes to us from Ars Technica. Supreme Court declines to hear podcasting patent case, handing a win to EFF, which would be the Electronic
Frontier
Foundation that Darryl and I both support, and I know a lot of our listeners too. Yeah, I've kicked him some cash.
Well, no, there are some times where the EFF will come up with something, and I'm like, really, you're taking this position?
Yeah, and that's going to be with any organization,
Yeah.
but on the whole, I think they've done great work.
Yes.
On podcasters, you can now engage in your lengthy Marone Opens without the feeling of being legally targeted by a Texas company that many would consider to be a patent troll. On Monday, the Supreme Court of the United States declined to hear a case of Personal Audio versus Electronic Frontier Foundation. In short, the case in that case, it's all said and done. As ours reported in August 2017, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit affirmed the April 2015 Inter Parte Review ruling, a process that allows anyone to challenge a patent's validity at the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office.
All right, so before we continue with the article here, I realize this might sound strange to some people, but apparently there are people in existence that aren't aware of exactly what a podcast is.
Sure, and they may not be aware of what a patent troll is.
Right. So let's briefly explain those things. And I think I did a somewhat good job of briefly explaining a podcast. The actual definition is a version of audio that can be downloaded through the use of an RSS feed. I don't know what the letters RSS stand for. I know it's a computer term. But if you have a smartphone, then chances are you have something that could be used as a podcast catcher or podcast aggregator.
Yeah, RSS is really simple syndication.
Ah, okay. Yeah, thank you. Like I said, I know the letters, and I have an RSS aggregator that since Google Reader died, I then used Dig Reader, and Dig Reader just wound up dying.
Yeah.
And so then I found something, but because I can't just open it in my web browser, I keep forgetting to open the program because it won't automatically open every day.
Yeah. The nice thing about RSS is you can sort of subscribe to a given website or things like that, and the developers or the owners of that website can say, okay, let's do an update, and you'll sort of automatically get it. And this sort of goes back to the original patent and what that involved.
Right.
Now,
and Adam Curry is generally regarded as the creator of podcasting, right? Like he's called the Podfather.
Way back in the day,
The Podfather.
That was after he was an MTV VJ.
Yes.
And that's going way,
and that's
way
back
way
when MTV actually played music videos.
Believe it or not, kids, I've seen it. It's true.
Video killed the radio star, allegedly.
Yeah, but as a little bit of a background, I'll just read the rest of the story.
And then what's a patent troll? So we went fairly deep there on what is a podcast, what is a patent troll.
So patent trolls, as it's commonly used, are people or companies who will purchase patents and then attempt to sue anybody who uses what they believe or they think they can prove in court that patent covers. And they'll say, you know what? For example, Apple and Samsung have been going back and forth on this stuff for years. You made your phone designed more or less to the shape of the iPhone. Therefore, Samsung, you owe us $10 million.
Yeah. Apple claims to own, and so far they've not used this patent outside of the electronics field, but they claim to own all rectangles with rounded corners.
Yes.
I would love to see Apple try to sue Australian rules football and professional hockey.
Yeah. So that's a definition of a patent troll. Now, the question really becomes whether the people that EFF went after, which is personal audio, really are patent trolls, or whether at some point they did have a patent that was worthwhile. Back in 2013, Personal Audio began sending legal demand letters to numerous podcasters and companies like Samsung in an apparent attempt to cajole them into a licensing deal lest they be slapped with a lawsuit. Some of those efforts were successful. In August 2014, Adam Carolla raised about $500,000 as part of a possible legal defense fund. Carolla settled with Personal Audio, but it's unclear how much money, if any, changed hands. As Personal Audio began to gain more public attention, however, the EFF, Electronic Frontier Foundation, stepped in to challenge Personal Audio's U.S. patent 8,112,504. That patent describes, quote, a system for disseminating media content representing episodes in a serialized sequence. So that's basically what their patent covers. And basically they've said that no, that patent is not a valid patent, and you can't go after people for providing, quote, system for disseminating media content representing episodes in a serialized sequence. So I thought it was a good judgment. And you know,
it could have been a better judgment, meaning that the Supreme Court could have actually heard the case and then wound up saying, yeah, Personal Audio, you're a patent troll. You don't own this patent. You've never owned this patent. And go make things right with Adam Curry that you had previously settled with.
Adam Carolla, yeah. And that's true. What the Supreme Court did was just basically decline to hear it. So it left standing the ruling in the lower court.
Right.
So it's just one of those things. And, you know, not a lot of people realize that the whole idea of, you know, patents and being able to protect your work That's in the Constitution.
Right. And the original patent law was for a period of, I believe it was 7 years. And on copyrights, the 7 years could be extended a single time so that you had a copyright for 14 years. Now in the United States, if things are a private creation, the copyright lasts the life of the creator plus 70 years, or a flat 125 years if it's a corporate creation.
Wow.
Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Please download our podcast. Share it.
From the second letter of Captain Mark. Any pirate knows that commerce is communication. Markets condense oceans of information into a single price. Innovations in communication are circumventing the scrutiny of the crown. This signals a change in the coin of the realm. The crown uses digital currency to surveil, censor, seize, and destroy wealth at will, so pirate currency must protect us from this weaponized money. We need to move funds further, faster, cheaper, and without third-party observation, basing decisions on an accelerating flow of information. So pirates require nearly instantaneous transactions with no arbitrary limits on volume or artificial influences on fees. Most importantly, a pirate currency must preclude centralization. Otherwise, it will become another link in our chain to the crown. A superior currency will result in the obsolescence of the coin of the realm and the extinction of the crown itself. Trade above the grid. Join us at pirateswithoutborders.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com.
Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 7,500 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed node systems of any cryptocurrency. Zencash is a platform for cryptocurrency and communications built by voluntarists for voluntarists, with the ideas of voluntary interaction being written into the white paper no less than half a dozen times. Learn more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Your calls and thoughts. Welcome about whatever is on your mind. Coming up, Chris, you're going to tell us about the deputy from Broward County that, well, he's about to be set for life. You can tell us about that here in just a second. But first, want to make sure that I tell you about a website that you can go to find out all kinds of news about various cryptocurrencies and things in the cryptocurrency world. And that is news.bitcoin.com. Most recent headline as of the time that I'm reading this, Open Bazaar enables decentralized peer-to-peer trading of 44 cryptocurrencies. Chris, have you ever actually used Open Bazaar? Or are you familiar with this?
Oh, I know it well. I just haven't used it yet.
Yeah, so it's a platform that there's not a centralized server for this thing. So anybody that wants to run the Open Bazaar program just downloads it, and then, like there's some kind of back end. I don't know how it connects. I don't know the technical stuff. I just know it works. And they've made some upgrades over the last year or so to where it's easier to use than ever to where originally if you had an Open Bazaar store, you had to have the program running constantly. And if you closed the program, your store went away. But not too long ago, they made a change to where once you have a store, it continues to exist as long as someone somewhere is running the program. And now implementing decentralized peer-to-peer cryptocurrency trading. Again, you can find that story as well as all kinds of cryptocurrency-related news over at news.bitcoin.com. That's news.bitcoin.com.
Yeah, and Darryl and I, it's always good when a couple hosts bring in the same story, and both of us brought in a story from Reason, and this has to do with the deputy, which I'm sure everybody remembers while the school shooter was active down in Florida. One of the resource officers who was a sheriff's deputy, Scott Peterson, just kind of, he went outside where it was safe, and he got criticized for doing that. And he ended up, I believe, getting fired. But
criticized not just by the media, but I believe by his own department and by other police officers as well.
You bet. So just to show you that people took this seriously, Scott Peterson, the Broward County Sheriff's deputy, who failed to engage the Parkland high school shooter, he got what he deserved, is eligible to receive an annual pension in excess of 6 figures. Wait, that can't be right.
No,
that is right. Yeah, so this guy who failed to save lives, failed to go into
you read that correctly, then yes, that's right. If by right versus wrong, then no.
Yeah, so this guy hangs out outside, stays where it's safe, and basically gets summarily fired for that. And his punishment is going to be able to retire with an annual salary of $104,000 a year. Pretty good, huh, Heather?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
All in a day's work.
Mm-hmm.
The Sun-Sentinel obtained records from Florida Department of Management Services showing that Peterson, who retired in the weeks after the February 14th shooting, is due to collect $8,700 per month. That works out to slightly more than $104,000 a year.
See, and the reason he's able to collect the pension, he retired before they could fire him.
There you go. Peterson, who is 55 years old, will be able to receive that pension for the rest of his life, and the Broward County taxpayers will cover 50% of his health insurance premiums.
Did he just leave the scene? Like, what exactly is the story with that? 'Cause I remember there was controversy about him, but I can't remember what.
Yeah, it was for whatever reason, he took up a position behind I believe it was behind a police car outside of the school. And the standard...
For about 4.5 minutes. It took him a minute and a half to get from wherever he was to that position.
Right.
Which I'm not criticizing because response takes time.
Right.
But then once he wound up getting near a door that he could actually enter, he just stayed outside.
Yeah.
Was he instructed to stay outside from the other law enforcement?
According to other law enforcement, no, but it was, I don't doubt that it was a confusing situation, but I will also say this. In emergency response and in emergency management, ever since Columbine, the standard procedure is you engage the shooter. Nobody sets up a perimeter around his school and waits to negotiate while some psycho is in there killing people. You confront him, you engage him, you distract him, you do whatever you can to stop him from killing students. And that was not what this guy did. So for that, he's going to receive $104,000 a year plus 50% of his health care insurance premiums paid for by Broward County taxpayers. Peterson earns more than $101,000 during his final year of service, the Sun Sentinel reports. That includes about $75,600 in base salary, with the rest coming from overtime pay and other forms of compensation. As Reason has previously reported, this is Reason Magazine, Peterson has been the school resource officer at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School since 2009, and he has been an employee of the Broward County Sheriff's Office since 1985. This means Peterson put in at least 25 years at the job, an important threshold for accruing pension benefits under state law. The pensions afforded to Florida sheriffs are based on a calculation that starts with the average of the employee's 5 highest paid years. That average is then multiplied by a percentage that varies based on how many years an employee has worked and at what job.
Now, I will say that I know some government employees that when they know they're getting ready to retire, they'll wind up taking all the overtime they can for those last couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
They don't take any sick days. They don't take any vacation days because the calculations in some places it's based on the last, like 3 or 5 years.
Yeah.
It says the highest. So, all right, still, if he knows, oh, yeah, I'm going to retire in several years, go ahead, start taking all that overtime. Don't take sick days, don't take vacation, and then you artificially increase what your highest earnings were for a year.
Yeah. So if this guy worked for, say, Starbucks or Walmart, I really wouldn't care. But the fact that he's a public employee and he's gaming the system, that's what bothers me.
How many
because
private places actually wind up offering pensions now?
There are a few, and they're mostly, I think, your more traditional types of companies, like even where I used to work, which was in a dental insurance company. They still had some pension. It was not enough to live on, not live well on, but if you combine that with 401k and things like that.
Yeah, I was under the impression.
Did you hear about the other school resource officer that ran in recently and saved the school? He stopped a school shooter.
I did read a story about that. Yes,
it was Dixon High School or something
like that. We'll pull that one up too. But
yeah, I was under the impression that it's really only people that work union jobs that wind up getting pensions, which is one of the reasons that the car companies had to be bailed out, because they're paying all these people that retired 40 years ago. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733.
Get the ultimate knife at an ultimate price. The Fox Karambit Knife. Finally available in the U.S. The Fox Karambit Knife opens with one hand, faster than you can pull a handgun. For utility, for defense, and for way less than other knives of this caliber. Go to theultimateknife.com. Truly the best knife you will ever own, and only available at theultimateknife.com. Use promo code RADIO at checkout for free shipping. Get the ultimate knife at the ultimate price at theultimateknife.com.
Want revenge on the common housefly? Well, after 10,000 years, someone has finally come up with a better way. The Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic and no batteries required. So much fun, you'll forget you have a wife and kids. $39.95 and free economy shipping. Use discount code GCN and get an extra 10% off your purchase at bugassault.com. Fire your fly swatter. Get your Bug Assault today.
It's the Onion Radio News. Hager physicists have created quantum slacks. This is Doyle Redland reporting. The stunning announcement that a team of Hager physicists has successfully developed quantum slacks was made this morning at a press conference in Philadelphia. According to Dr. Daniel Chang, head of the Hager team, conventional notions about the physical properties and possibilities of slacks have been turned on their heads.
We are on the verge of unzipping the secrets of creation and peering into the pants of God himself. It appears the very fabric of the universe may well be a smart cotton twill weave.
However, Chang urged caution in further research after tests conducted last month at the Hager Pants Propulsion Collider Laboratory in Dallas suggested the possible existence of so-called anti-pants, which could, in theory, initiate a chain reaction resulting in no pants at all. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855 450 free, 855 450 3733. In studio tonight, it's Darryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And Chris, you've been telling us about the heroic officer down in Parkland, Florida, who is getting a pension of $104,000 for the rest of his life.
And half his health care paid for, so you got that too.
Yes. So story here coming from Reason.com, and I think there's a little bit more to the story here.
There is. Law enforcement employees and other public employees in so-called, quote, high-risk positions earn a multiplier of 3% for every year worked.
All right, so let's go back and explain that multiplier, because Reason explains the way that there are calculations based on Scott Peterson's 25 years on the job in Broward County, and then it takes the average of the top 5 highest paid years, and then there's a multiplier that says here the average is then multiplied by a percentage that varies based on how many years an employee has worked and at what job, and then that's where this 3% high-risk position multiplier comes in.
Yeah, and pensions are usually, public pensions are fairly complicated when it comes to this stuff. So
yes,
on top of all that calculation that got him from, $75,000 or $101,000 this year. That was his base pay during his final year of service.
Right.
Then and 75,600. It just keeps going. So here's another multiplier. That means Peterson put in at least 25 years on the job. Law enforcement employees and other public workers in high-risk positions earn a multiplier of 3% for every year worked. Other public workers earn a lower multiplier, usually 2%. And this is in Florida, and every state,
Right.
I'm sure, is going to be different. After 25 years in service, a law enforcement employee like Peterson would have earned a pension equal to 75% of the average of his 5 highest paid years during his final 10 years of employment. Under Florida law, pension payouts are capped at 100% of this figure, known as the, quote, final annual salary.
All right.
This specific situation sheds light on the broader implications of public retirement costs in Florida and around the country. An employee like Peterson, who was, by all accounts, a typical deputy in the Broward County Sheriff's Office before his unfortunate rise to national prominence this month, is afforded a retirement package that kicks in at age 52 and allows him to collect a pension even if he pursues other work after his retirement. It's vastly different from what most private sector workers can expect to receive. The difference is premised on the idea that Peterson put his life on the line in a high-risk profession, except, of course, that Peterson did not put his life on the line when the moment arose.
Right. And I've seen these lists that come out every couple of years showing, what are actually the most dangerous jobs, and it's things like logger,
right,
Alaskan crab fisherman.
Yeah. Yeah. Police rate, they don't rate low. I wouldn't call it a completely safe position, but
it's not in the top 10.
No, and garbage man is
Especially a school police officer.
Well, right, and garbage man is a more not a deadlier job, but a more dangerous job than being a police officer.
Right.
And statistically speaking.
USA Today actually put out the list January of this year, the 25 most dangerous jobs. And, of course, this is one of those where you've got to scroll through a list here. Logging workers, number 1. Fishermen and other related fishing workers. And then they give a breakdown of the fatal injuries, the total injuries, the most common accidents, etc. Right. So for the fishing-related things, 86 fatal injuries per 100,000 workers for a total of 24 fatal injuries in the last year that they had records, which was 2016.
How the hell do they all die?
Doing
what? They fall off or fall overboard?
That accounts for a lot of them.
George Clooney movie. What was that? Oh, The Perfect Storm.
Oh, is that really how most of them die? Is falling overboard?
So there's
the
show on the History Channel that has the Alaskan crab fishermen.
Yeah, there's and
they
Deadliest
say
Catch.
And, during the that season of crab fishing, there's an average of 1 fatality per year or per season just for the crab fishermen.
Right.
Because somebody is going to wind up falling overboard and the water is freezing. And unless you're pulled out of the water in like 30 seconds, you're going to wind up getting hypothermia and dying. You also have these huge giant metal crates that are being flung around. Logging workers, again, number 1, 135.9 workers per fatal injuries per 100,000 workers for a total of 91 fatal injuries, 900 non-fatal injuries. Most common, struck by a falling object.
Yeah.
Number 3, aircraft pilots and flight engineers. Number 4, roofers.
Wait, so aircraft pilots and flight engineers?
Yes. 55 deaths per 100,000 workers for a total of 75 fatal injuries, 470 non-fatal. The most common accident is overexertion and bodily reaction.
Are these like little planes?
Well,
it includes all kinds of planes.
Yeah. The thing is I would venture that given the limited number of pilots And the fact that you're going to have a certain number of fatalities every year from crashes, plus you're going to have
75
all your other injuries. And
75 fatal injuries in 2016.
Yeah.
For pilots and flight engine. And again, this doesn't include just commercial airline pilots. It also includes test pilots.
I see those little ones crash all the time.
Military.
I
remember on the Cape, there was one of those little like mini airports where you had like those dinky little planes or whatever. And it just seemed
little
like
Cessnas.
At least once or twice a year, somebody would crash those things. It's pretty great. It was like more common than you'd think. And I'm wondering because you don't see too many commercial airlines.
Yeah.
Refuse and recyclable material collectors.
Yep. What number?
This is number 5. There were 34.1 fatal injuries per 100,000 workers, total of 31 injuries, 6,100 non-fatal injuries. Most common accidents are falls, slips, and trips.
Yep. So where
median
police?
salary is $35,000. And again, this is a list where I'm having to click,
click through
each
and
individual.
find police.
Farmers, number 8. First line supervisors of construction, number 9. Miscellaneous agriculture. I'm scrolling through trying to find police at number 14.
Number 14. So garbage men made on average $35,000 a year. How much do police on average make?
Median annual wage $59,680.
Okay.
So, how many police fatalities? What did it say?
There were 14.6 per 100,000 for a total of 108. The most common accident is intentional injury by other person. There's also a large number of heart attacks and vehicle accidents.
Yep, that makes sense. But the point being, and you'll often hear this, especially around budget time, or when crime goes up, is, you know, our troopers are out there, they're putting their lives on the line every day, and not to belittle anybody's job, because I certainly wouldn't want to be in a position to stare down a bad guy with a gun if he intends to shoot me. But you know, if you're a logger in New Hampshire, your odds are better of getting killed by getting hit by a tree than an officer getting hit by a bullet.
Taxi driver number 17, 60 fatal injuries in 2016, 2,700 non-fatal injuries. Your calls and thoughts welcome about whatever is on your mind. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Plus, Vermont allowing Canadian prescriptions? This is Free Talk Live.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Were you born before the year 1956? If so, did you know you could be collecting between $575 and $2,200 in tax-free income right now? All thanks to the FHA. Or what about this? Did you know 54 U.S. congressmen have used a special tax-free account to earn up to 35 times more on their money? It's true, and you can do it too. These are just two of the secrets revealed inside a stunning new book from the Palm Beach Research Group and Ted Benna, the man behind the 401k. You'll discover the 18 best cash cows that can help you earn up to an extra $6,800 a month. Just go to 501kbook.com right now. If you're at or near retirement, this book is a must-read. You can get your own free copy. Shipping and handling charges apply. Just go to 501kbook.com right now while there are still copies left. That's 501 501kbook.com. 501kbook.com. Just go to 501kbook.com right now.
My name is Angel Rach. I'm a mother of 2 teenage children, and I fought all the way to the Supreme Court for the right to use the medicine that saved my life. I've been permanently disabled for 10 years, with an inoperable brain tumor, wasting syndrome, and several other serious conditions. For 4 years, I was in a wheelchair, in so much pain, I couldn't even hug my kids. The hardest part was looking in their eyes and seeing how much they were suffering because of my medical condition. The medicine that gave me my life back and gave my kids their mom back was cannabis, also known as medical marijuana. With medical marijuana, I can walk, maintain my weight, and I can be a mom. Without it, my doctors believe that I would die. To learn more about medical marijuana, contact Marijuana Policy Project at 1-877-JOIN-MPP or on the web at mpp.org.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's the toll-free call-in line where you can call in these closing moments. And if you're on the phones now, we will be able to get to you. We'll actually get to the phones here in just a second. But first, I want to make sure that I tell you what I'm going to be doing the first weekend in November. I'm going to be running in the New York City Marathon as a member of Team Innocence Project. The Innocence Project was the first legal organization to systematically apply DNA testing to cases of wrongful convictions as a powerful tool to reveal innocence. So far, in the year 2018, there have been 7 Innocence Project clients that have been exonerated for crimes that they did not commit using DNA testing. In some of these cases, the Innocence Project had to fight for years to even get the right to test the DNA. With your help, they can help even more of their clients. Head over to run.freetalklive.com. Make a contribution to the Innocence Project. Help me secure my spot in the race on Team Innocence Project. I've unofficially reached the goal where I've got some matching funds that I'm waiting to come in, but while those funds are yet to come in, head over to run.freetalklive.com, make a donation, because even once I do make the minimum threshold that's required, which is $3,500, the Innocence Project is still going to wind up needing help. They're going to need more money to help even more clients. Run.freetalklive.com. Let's go to David calling in from Jackson, Mississippi, listening to us on WKHM. David, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yeah, I was just going to comment about that deputy's pension thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
That guy, if you figure it out to monthly, break it down to a 40-hour work week, he is going to be making $54 an hour that the taxpayers have to fund now. That is crazy.
Yeah, the recent article here mentions the monthly payment is going to be $8,700 per month.
Yeah, that is nuts. How can you even spend $8,000 a month when you're retired? That is crazy. We had a similar situation here in town.
Mm-hmm.
We're just a little 33,000 population city. Our city clerk it turned out when she retired, it turned out that she was getting paid $109,000 a year to be our city clerk.
Yep.
And all she had to do was manage the voter records and run the elections when they come up.
Nice.
When she retired, they replaced her with a part-time city clerk that was going to be paid $20,000 a year.
So did that city clerk not have to manage the city council meeting minutes? Because I know that's one of the things that the city clerks here wind up doing.
I don't know. I'm going by just the description on the website for city clerk. It says job responsibilities: manage voters' records and manage local elections. That's the only thing under her job description.
The real problem that municipalities and states and government at all levels across this country face is they've allowed this to become the norm.
Right.
We've allowed this to become the norm. So when you have, and it's union jobs and it's public service jobs, so how many years is this? Did they say how old she was? Was she 65 or?
She was on the job for 15 years. I don't remember.
15 years. Let's just say
I think she was like. Yeah, I think when she retired or when she stopped, she just wanted to quit being the city clerk. I guess she decided she made enough money or something.
Right.
I think she was in her early 50s maybe or something.
Okay.
So she's still got a long time to go.
So
but
yeah,
$109,000, and she's replaced by a part-time one that can do her job, and they're going to give her $20,000.
Well, forget the annual numbers. What it's going to cost the taxpayers. Let's say she retired at 55 and she's going to, live to be 85 years old. There's 30 years times $100,000, or anyone.
Isn't that close to like $3 million?
$3 million. You're going to pay that woman to knit, golf, do whatever she does. Yeah. $3 million.
And then when the people are objecting to this, they went to the meetings, and people are objecting about the high pay for the city commissioners and the clerks and all this stuff in our city. What do you think they did in response to that? Next meeting, they all gave themselves a raise.
Of course they did.
Of course they gave themselves a raise. David, thank you for the call. We had a former code enforcer here in Keene, New Hampshire, who had also retired as a police officer and retired from like some other government job. So he was collecting
double dipping or triple dipping.
He was taking 2 pensions while being a code enforcer, and then retired from the code enforcer thing.
Triple dipper.
3 different pensions.
Yep.
And yeah,
New
people
Hampshire
don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, New Hampshire's
reasons.
Tried to get around that, and you'll see a lot of public employees in this state that, I retired from this job and then I went to work over here, and it's
right.
nuts.
And because it's a different department, it's not the same sort of thing. Let's go back to the phones. We've got Sarah calling in from Albuquerque. Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thought.
Yes, I worked today for about 2 hours. I talked to about 150 people about the one place that's open to vote. So I voted there 2 days ago. But out of the 150 people, only 3 people knew about that place. Everybody was like, really? It's open? It's like, where? They're like, really? They're open? Well, I'm just kind of really amazed.
All right, hold on. So you said that you worked for about 2 hours. Did you wind up getting paid for that?
Yeah, I was going to ask that too.
No, it's volunteer work. I do a lot of it's a get the vote out. I do volunteer, but that's what I choose to do. But
okay, so you volunteered.
You volunteered.
You didn't work. Work means that somebody pays you in exchange for your labor.
No, you could do volunteer work. I think it's still
work.
Work is work. It's physical activity. Pay is pay.
So how about getting a job? I'm just curious. I've never asked you this.
You know what? It's a very complicated issue. I didn't know this was a Social Security call-in show that I got to explain all my disabilities.
Oh no.
I don't know. You guys. You know what? You guys been asking me for in this show for 10 years. Are you the one that decide whether I qualify or not?
Not at all. I'm just curious if every time you bring up something that you volunteer from, it just sounds like you enjoy it. And there's nothing wrong with liking what you do. I'm just saying, is there some way that you could turn that into something where you were compensated for doing something you like to do?
Well, there's no pay for this. Nobody's going to pay you to inform the voters the location.
Oh, let me give you a name. Can you write this down? It's George Soros. That's Soros. I want you to Google him, find him, and he will pay you to do what you're doing right now.
Chris, you're forgetting Sarah doesn't use the internet.
Okay. I'm sure George Soros, if you can borrow somebody else's phone, they can get you his number.
Go to the public library. Libraries generally have computers that are connected to this thing called the internet.
Yep. He's insanely wealthy, and he could probably hook you up.
But there probably are various organizations that would wind up compensating for doing various election-related things. I know that here in New Hampshire, I see people say that they're doing some kind of something for the Americans for Prosperity. I know that there
paid
are
petitioners.
Right. There are people that wind up getting paid to collect petitions to get either ballot initiatives placed on the ballot or to get candidates placed on the ballot.
Mm-hmm. Well, I like doing volunteer work, just like mothers and housewives. They do not get paid. They do work, and they're never valued. They're treated the same way they treat me.
Well, you're getting paid.
The work is worthless. They don't get paid.
Hold on. Who says that mothers are not valued?
You get paid from the government.
Well, that's what you say to me, because I'm volunteer. If I don't get paid, I do volunteer work. You treat me the same way that you treat housewives. That's how they were treated. You know what? Their work and my work is just as much value.
Oh, I'm not saying that it doesn't provide value to you. I'm
not saying that you didn't do something productive this afternoon. I just said that it, by definition, was not work because you were not compensated financially for it.
Well, that's why you say housewife is not really working. They just lop around and cook and eat and run around with children. They just have fun, right?
Oh, that's my girlfriend would tear you up on that one.
Sarah, claiming that something
she was being
by definition is not work does not mean that I don't value people. Thank you for the call. Not really. We're done for tonight, but we'll be back tomorrow, and you can download the podcast if you aren't listening live. And I'm not going to get sued by that patent troll for saying podcast. This has been Free Talk Live.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read